Hi, folks. It's Paul Ramsey, and I'm joined by Cheryl DeDecker, who is presenting a 1-hour seminar at the 2017 NGH convention. The title is Conscious Mindset Tricks for a Happy, Effective Hypnotist. Isn't that what we all want? That's wonderful, Cheryl.
Exactly. Thank you. Thanks for interviewing me. I'm so excited to be here and to talk about my workshop.
So listen, let's skip, because if people are paying attention, they'll see we've already done one interview with you, and we've got your history of how you got into hypnotism. So let's get right into the content of this seminar. Why this topic? Tell me about how you got inspired to do this topic.
Well, I think that, whenever anybody's looking at what can I teach, what can I share with my colleagues, part of it is what information might I have that other people may not have? And so I pulled from my 20 years experience as a cognitive behavioral therapist, and I thought, well, there are many things that I do automatically that people may or may not do. There are things that I do prior to the session to kind of get my mindset in a good place. I do things during the session so that I can stay focused and engaged and really aware of that client. And people may or may not be aware of those things, so I thought I would share them.
Yeah. That's very normal and reasonable. I'm looking at the guide right now, and it says right in your description, have you ever found yourself getting stuck in your head before or during a session? Your own thoughts, plans, and reactions getting in the way. If you're human, you have that happen, right? That's just, no matter how hard you work at your craft, there's always, like, we all have limiting beliefs, right? So there's people that
Yes.
think, I really struggle with this type of client. So this is great that you're doing that and in covering ways we as hypnotists can effectively manage our own thinking and focus during each session. Do you do this kind of stuff every session? Do you have like a routine that you do?
I think for me, it's such a habit. It's such a normal part of what I do because I've seen clients every day for
Yeah.
so long that it's just a normal part of my routine. But I thought, it would be great to have people have some skills and some tools that they can use, because we all have that. Let's say that you're leaving home and your child has a tantrum and you're dealing with that for a while, and then you get in the car and you're driving and you're going to work and you get in traffic. And by the time you get to that first client, where is your mind? Where's your mindset? Are you frazzled? Are you frustrated? Where are you? And what can you do consciously to really prepare yourself, get centered, and really be able to meet that client 100%?
Yeah.
We've had those kind of sessions where we're in the zone and where we just feel like you're with that client and you're able to pick up on things that you maybe wouldn't have been able to pick up on. Like if someone is incongruent, for example, you know what I'm saying? You ask them a question and they give you an answer, but their facial expression is completely different than the answer that they give you. There are little nuggets like that we really need to be really present and focused on that client to pick up on them.
Yeah.
And so these tools will help you to do that.
Hey, let me spin you backward a little bit for a good reason, because I get caught sometimes. I don't want to assume that everyone who finds this video will be familiar with the term cognitive behavioral therapy. So can you provide a short definition of what that is?
Right. So in getting my master's degree in counseling psychology, part of it is you have to figure out what kind of theoretical background makes the most sense to you. How do you approach a client? What do you look at first? And so the thing that for me really I found to be the most research supported was cognitive behavioral therapy, which is looking at how do people think and what do they do, and how they think and what they do really affects how they feel. And that's not a strange concept to hypnotists. We tend to, of course, look at the subconscious thinking, but so with my background and the hypnosis, it's a whole brain effect that we get to look at. And so that's what cognitive behavioral therapy is about, is looking at how do we change how we think and how do we change our behavior so that we make progress and overcome obstacles.
Right. So there's more and more research from what I've seen and read that suggests there is a beautiful dovetail between cognitive behavioral work and hypnotism, right? That when put together, you can get strikingly better results.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, so much of what we, what I did in that life, I'm a hypnotist now. I don't do cognitive behavioral therapy now, but when I did that, so much of it is looking at what are the irrational thoughts. And a lot of what we do is help people to reprogram those
Right.
irrational thoughts.
Right.
And so it's a great melding of skills and tools,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, but that whole thing of like metacognition, really, right? Like thinking about thinking. I mean,
Yes.
that's so, I mean, we don't talk, I haven't been around a lot of hypnotists who talk about it explicitly, but if you're really listening to the way we do the work and talk, I mean, it's so ingrained in,
Mm-hmm.
just the way that we are always looking for limiting beliefs and checking people's models and asking them to explain their thoughts.
Yes.
There's a lot of great, yeah. So I think,
Mm-hmm.
how great that you have that in your background and you can bring a real formal training in that to the work that you do now as a hypnotist. That's wonderful. And I'm sure that it informs even these things like how you get yourself in the proper thought channel for
Mm-hmm.
work with people. That's
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be looking at things like perspective and intention. And these aren't strange concepts to hypnotists, but we might not always think of them in terms of ourselves and going into a session with a client. How am I viewing this client? Do I have preconceived notions about them? Where is my own mindset? What's my mood? What's my day like? Where am I at? How
Yeah.
can I get as focused as I can be so that I'm really there present with that client? And that affects our outcomes as well. It affects what kind of rapport we build with our clients. It affects whether or not they want to come back to see us, how effective we are. And it also affects how much we enjoy the work that we do.
Yes. That's so true. Yeah. That's cool. All right. Well, I think you've covered it nicely considering this is a 1 hour. It's hard to talk about this a lot without getting into your core content. And so you've already given people the high points. I think it's very clear what the perspective value is in going and spending this time with you. That's great. So you guys remember Friday, August 11th, it's the first day of the convention, 3 p.m. Conscious mindset tricks for a happy, effective hypnotist. We want you to be happy and we want you to be effective. And we want more and more people to do that so we can help more and more people and make a bigger and bigger impact on the world. So, Cheryl, thanks so much
Definitely.
for offering this 1 hour seminar.
Great. Thank you. Hope to see you all there.
Hey, if people want to learn more about you, what's a good way for them to do that?
They could go to my website, which is www.cherylscompass.com. And they could also send me an email. It's my first name, Cheryl, CHERYL.DeDecker. It's written right up there at gmail.com.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much. I'll see you in August. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Be well.
You too. Bye-bye.